After a full work day, your business doesn't get what's left. It demands everything again. I'm building ATHLETESIA alongside a full-time career. And this is something that gets glossed over sometimes. And I want to talk about it. So the first point that I want to make is building a business whilst working full-time. It is a very, very personal choice. And there are circumstances and various different things that will contribute as to why a person makes that decision. For me, it works for me, and I'm going to talk through why. Now, the reason why I work full-time and while building my business is because I understand and I'm very clear on the demands. I understand the demands of my day job. And then I understand the demands of what is required of me once my workday is ended. But also alongside that, the compromises and sacrifices that comes with that. Because it's not just a case of, okay, right, my day job is ended, I can now focus on my business. It also means the weekends. It means working as and when I can, whenever it's my time to do so. Because it doesn't stop. It's a forever going journey that demands every single part of me. And so how do I actually do that? Because I get asked often, I don't understand how you do it all. I briefly touched on this in another video, and I will break it down in a separate video, that I work with people who are experts within their field, within various different areas, and that helps me massively. The reason why I'm able to do that is because I have the funds to do so, because I have a full-time career, and because I've set myself up in a way where I have that buffer. And that's something that I worked through when I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, because it's not just about time. It's also about the finances that are required to build a business, especially a product-based business like I'm doing. And sometimes it can seem glamorous for someone to say, hey, I've got a brand, I've got a business, but it's really not as glamorous as it sounds. There are amazing and incredible parts of it, but it's hard. It is hard work. It is grafting. It is being obsessed with every single minute detail. It is understanding there is nobody else to blame. There is nobody else to be held accountable apart from yourself. And if you are not prepared to do that, then you have to decide, is this the right thing for me to actually be doing? And so ultimately, one of the things that I always focus on is, right, where there are gaps, where there are places that are my time, how am I going to utilize it? And I'll give you some examples. My lunch break is my time. So if I'm working from home, I'm going to utilize my lunch break to be able to eat and also work on my business within the hour that I have. Then also alongside that, there are other times. So whether I'm on my way to the office in the morning or after work, I'm also utilizing that time too. So on the way to work, whether it's on the bus or it's on the train, I'm thinking about what are the emails that I can draft? What are the emails that I need to respond to that have come through overnight because my manufacturer is in a different time zone? All of them are. And so that means that we're not always operating to the same time. Well, we're never operating to the same time, depending on the time of day. And so therefore, I need to make sure that I have that touch point with them and I'm getting back to them on what is required. But also, and this is really, really important, before responding, I have to do some things. There's a bit of a process that I take. So I will review, I will breathe, I will digest, and then I will decide what is my next step that I'm going to take. And so what I mean by that is, can I give an immediate answer to this now? Or do I have to wait until I'm at home in the evening or on the weekend where I can provide a better response? Because I've realized that responding when I'm not in the right headspace is one of the worst things that I can do. And from experience, it can lead to errors and it can lead to frustration. So therefore, if it's something that's more deeper, i.e., I need to read a contract or I need to review something in greater detail, I'm going to wait until I have that headspace to do that. But I'm also going to manage expectations on that front as well, because it's a two-way street, it's a relationship. So I need to make sure that the person that I'm communicating with, they understand and they are very clear as to when I'm going to come back to them on something. So it's managing time. It's making the most of every single minute of every single day. It is being obsessed. It's being in a place of understanding there are going to be sacrifices and compromises to be made. And do I have the capacity to actually do that? And not only do I have the capacity, do I want to? Is that something that I truly want? I'm going to share with you, there have been times on this journey where, especially in the early stages, where I've been like, what the hell am I doing? Am I making the right choice here? And every single time it's come back, yes. But this is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. And so when building something, how much do you believe in it? And also, what are you prepared to lose? Because I've already had those discussions with myself about, right, I've put in X, and if this doesn't go in the direction that I want it to, am I prepared to suck it up and lose that? And I have to be comfortable with that decision that comes back into my mind. Now, I am one of the most optimistic people that there is. I remember a boss once said to me, I said, what can I improve on? And he said, you're too optimistic. I never changed that. But there is a part of being optimistic, but also being very realistic. And so one of the different moving parts of a business is when I'm building ATHLETESIA, is it's really digging in and diving into the financials of the business. What is the future of this business? And because I haven't launched yet, it's a forecast. It's a guesstimate as to what I feel is going to happen. And it's also working with the right people on that as well and getting their input and advice. But I share that because this is part of the things that are going through my mind. And when ATHLETESIA gets to a certain point, then I've got to make a judgment call and a decision as to what I want to do from there. But what was really, really important as well, when I decided that I was moving forward with ATHLETESIA, was writing to my employer and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what it means. And having their response to basically okay it, to ensure that there was no conflict of interest on, either party's side, but also making them know that I'm still committed to my day job and what I'm doing. This is something that I'm currently building in the background. And again, I'm yet to launch. And I remember seeing something where it was around, how do you go about building a personal brand, a business, whilst actually working full time? The key for me is transparency and honesty. And that's what it's about. It's being able to have those upfront conversations. And I appreciate and understand that not everyone is necessarily able to do that. But that has given me peace of mind. I have that confirmation from the company that I work for. So when I'm sharing things on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or wherever, they're already aware that that is what I'm doing. And that is part of the journey and part of the process. When I'm recording content, I'm doing that on my time always, as you would. And one of the things that I will also do now and again is for ATHLETESIA, when I'm leaving the house and I'm on my way to work, I'll say, this is a leaving the house quick update as to what is happening. So I've then got that touch point, but again, I'm utilizing my time and I'm making the most of it. So working full time while building a business, it is not easy. It is tough. And I don't have the other side as to what that looks like when a person quits their job and works on their business. But you have to understand and know that the demands don't disappear. They are still there. And you have to give it your all on both sides. That is the bottom line. And so that's why I'm building while working full time. And this isn't about doing more. It's about deciding, what are you prepared to commit to? What are you prepared to actually give your time to and dedicate to? And how does that translate to the reason behind why you are building what you're building?